Dear viewers, today we will explore into the most fascinating and scary Reddit stories, from a haunted doll to a terrifying farm. Make sure you don't miss the ending, as the final part reveals the absolute most terrifying true story. You can find it online, and you really don't want to miss it. It was a dark and stormy night, the kind of night that makes you want to huddle under the covers and forget about the world outside. I was alone in my small, dimly lit apartment, the only source of light being the flickering glow of my laptop screen. I was browsing Reddit, my go-to source for creepy stories and unsettling encounters. Little did I know, I was about to become a part of one such terrifying tale. As I scrolled through the subreddit dedicated to the supernatural, I stumbled upon a post that caught my eye. The title read, "I've been receiving disturbing calls at midnight. Help." The author, a Reddit user with the handle Nightmare Caller, described a series of chilling events that had been unfolding in their life. According to Nightmare Caller, every night at the stroke of midnight, their landline phone would ring. The caller ID displayed an unidentifiable number, a string of cryptic digits that seemed to change with each call. When they picked up, all they heard was heavy breathing and faint, muffled whispers. No words, just eerie, unsettling sounds that sent shivers down their spine. The posts went on to detail how Nightmare Caller's sleep had been plagued by nightmares, vivid and horrifying dreams that left them waking up in a cold sweat. In one of these dreams, they saw a shadowy figure lurking outside their window, its face obscured by a twisted, sinister grin. I followed the thread, intrigued by the unfolding events. Other Reddit users began chiming in, offering theories and suggestions. Some recommended calling the police, while others suggested checking the phone lines for tampering. But what stood out the most were the comments from a user named Watcher in the Dark, who claimed to have had a similar experience years ago. Watcher in the Dark story was even more disturbing. They revealed that the midnight calls were just the beginning. Soon they began to receive anonymous letters with cryptic messages and chilling warnings. The letters were always postmarked from different cities, making it impossible to track the sender. As I read their account, a feeling of dread washed over me. I couldn't help but glance at my own phone, wondering if I would be next. The feeling of being watched, of someone or something lurking just out of sight, became almost palpable. The Reddit thread continued to grow, with users sharing their own experiences and theories. It felt as though we were all caught in a web of unease, united by our shared sense of foreboding. The word Reddit appeared repeatedly in the conversation, serving as a digital campfire where we gathered to share our fears and seek solace in the face of the unknown. As I closed the laptop, I couldn't shake the feeling that something dark and sinister loomed just beyond the screen, waiting for midnight to strike. Reddit had brought us together, but it also served as a reminder that, in the depths of the internet, unspeakable horrors are just a click away from our everyday lives. If you're not yet terrified, wait to see what is happening in the next chapter. The old Elm-Wood Farm, hidden in perpetual darkness, was always a subject of secret talks in the town. People would chat in cafes and share stories on Reddit about the mysterious happenings there. Their tales often ended up on Reddit, where the whispers about Elm-Wood Farm took on a life of their own. Reddit conversations felt like virtual campfires, where users shared spooky stories, as spooky as the night that hung over the old farm. These stories were about ghostly figures who wandered around the farm, their footsteps barely heard, like whispers in a quiet night. The old farmhouse, with its rotting wooden beams and broken windows, was often talked about on Reddit forums dedicated to abandoned places. It gave off a creepy feeling, something users couldn't help but discuss online. One stormy evening, a group of brave teenagers, inspired by stories they found on Reddit, decided to explore the farm. They had flashlights that cut through the darkness as they cautiously approached the eerie barn, driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, just like the stories they read. As they got closer, the rusty barn doors groaned open slowly, as if revealing some hidden secret. They later shared their experience on Reddit, where they described the scene in detail and their hearts pounding in their chests. Inside the barn, they found a collection of old porcelain dolls, their faces cracked and sad. They took pictures and shared them on Reddit for others to see, and the online community began to speculate about the dolls' history, even suggesting they might be cursed, just like the teenagers had feared. As the teens stood there, their fear growing, the dolls started moving on their own. Their stiff, broken limbs twisted in strange ways, and their eyes, now focused on the teens, gave a chilling warning. "You should not have come." A sudden chill ran down the teenagers' spines, and they fled from the barn as fast as they could, their footsteps echoing in the dark. They didn't look back, and Elm-Wood Farm became a place they tried to forget. But the haunting memories of the dolls and the creepy whispers stayed in their minds. Night after night, they dreamt of the old farm and its eerie dolls, making sure that the story of Elm-Wood Farm would always be a part of their lives, never to be forgotten, whether on Reddit or anywhere else. Now let's move on to the final part where things get completely weird. On a moonless night, the old Victorian mansion let out ghostly groans with every gust of wind. Its worn-out boards seemed to murmur secrets to anyone daring to listen. Inside the last floor, candlelight flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced on the cracked wallpaper. Meanwhile, the gnarled branches of ancient trees outside painted sinister shapes on the walls, like ghostly puppets in a macabre show. Amid the attic's obscurity, I stumbled upon an old chest concealed beneath a dusty shroud of cobwebs, as if time itself had deliberately spared it. My trembling fingers wrestled with the ancient lock, its corroded iron protesting with a rusty groan as it reluctantly yielded. Inside, a pristine porcelain doll emerged, a relic from days of innocence and joy. But this once cherubic doll now bore the marks of time, its face scarred by unsettling, hair-thin cracks, a testament to the countless enigmatic nights it had spent within the house's mysterious walls. I cradled the doll with gentle hands, feeling the cold, delicate porcelain sends a disconcerting chill down my spine, like a bizarre feeling. As I examined the doll, a strange scent of musty lavender mingled with the overpowering odor of decaying wood, forming a peculiar blend that clung to my senses. An eerie sensation of being watched, as though an imperceptible weight descended upon me. It felt like unseen eyes were tracing my every move. The doll's glassy eyes, clouded by the passage of time, seemed to contain a malevolent essence, silently observing the hidden mysteries within the old house's time-worn structure. In an effort to dispel the growing unease, I approached the chest, intending to return the doll to its resting place. But as I reached out to gently place it back, a spectral whisper, like a ghostly breeze, filled the attic. "Do not forsake me," it pleaded, the words hanging in the air like a haunting plea that filled me with trepidation, extending far beyond the confines of the desolate attic. The chilling realization washed over me that I was not alone in that dimly lit room, and the ominous presence of the doll served as a testament to the harrowing history of the old Victorian estate. While alone in the attic, I couldn't help but wonder if there were tales about this place on Reddit. I thought about posting my own scary experience and reading others who might have faced the mysterious horrors of the old mansion.